We hated doing the Camino de Santiago. I know. I've only ever heard people talk about how amazing it is, so we are definitely in the minority. But let me explain what led us to doing it, what went wrong, and what we learned on the way. And I promise you, this is not a typical clickbait video where I then tell you that I hated it because it was too good. Unfortunately, I did just have a terrible time. In 2025, we made the decision to sell our house and not buy another. 1 week before Christmas, we moved all of our things into a shipping container. Since then, we've been moving around, spending time in Ireland, Mallorca, Spain, and Newcastle. But what led us to this decision? Over the last few years, our mindsets have been changing. We've been questioning our life and the path that we've followed. Is it really what we want to be doing? Finish school, maybe go to university, get a job, make money, buy a house, meet someone, marry them, buy a bigger house, have kids, and just keep working and buying and being busy. We were tired of the daily grind. The weather in the UK was getting us down. We were bored of every week being the same. We were sick of the stress that comes with this normal life. We rejected the expectation that this is just the way it is. Despite this, we have no idea what we want instead. So we decided to walk the Camino de Santiago to give us space and time to think about things. We put high expectations on this journey, feeling that it was a poignant metaphor for the change that we were embarking on. We thought it would be a spiritual experience, one where things would become clear, we'd meet many interesting people, and we'd also enjoy being in nature all day, walking, something that we love to do. We thought that we'd have so much time and space to think about what we want to do next, and that the path would just become clear. We did not get what we hoped for.
Be never ending. So the truest meaning is onward. Keep going. Even when the path is steep, even when the silence feels heavy, every step forward is a step.
The biggest mistake was the time of year that we went. Galicia is not like the rest of Spain, and February is not the month to do the Camino. We got 2 beautiful days and we fully appreciated them. The views and landscape were amazing. The rest of the time, it was grey, windy, cold, and wet. We knew it might rain a bit, but didn't expect torrential storms or never-ending drizzle. We wanted to go as soon as possible to mark the start of the transition period, but I don't recommend anyone go in February. I genuinely felt like I was in Ireland, which is not the vibe that I was looking for. And yes, we did research the weather, but because we were so keen to just go, we dismissed it and thought, well, it's Spain. How bad could it be? We met few people on the road. The ones that we did were lovely, but we didn't see them after day 3. Pretty much every Camino-centric business was closed due to the off-season. It all felt a bit abandoned and lifeless. We stayed in hotels that were completely empty. They didn't even have staff. The worst one had black mold, which we arrived at 9 p.m. after walking 30k and quickly had to find an alternative, which, to be fair, was absolutely amazing. And the owner really did look after us.
He's all nervous.
We did know it would be quieter, but we weren't expecting it to be that quiet. To be fair though, I have also heard that it's crazy busy during the popular months, and I don't know which one I would prefer. On day two, there were horrendous storms and flooded roads, which resulted in me getting very wet shoes, which caused blisters right on the balls of my feet. So the walking that I enjoy so much became excruciating for the rest of the week. The pain occupies your mind so much that having time to think goes completely out the window. Literally all you can think about is how much pain you're in. The final curse of the trip came on the last night before walking the final 14k into Santiago. We woke at 2 a.m. with horrific food poisoning that didn't stop until 12 the next day. The hotel manager had to drive us to our Santiago hotel, where we stayed in bed for 2 days. We were absolutely wiped out and so unwell. I'll not go into any more detail than that, but it was like the rotten cherry on top of a rotten cake. We'd been looking forward to the last day so much. It was half the distance of the previous days, and we were so ready to arrive and feel that sense of accomplishment. Thankfully, we'd already completed 101k, which is what you need to officially complete. But finishing in Santiago was meant to be an exciting end to the trip. We didn't make it into the city until 2 days later when we felt able to leave the hotel, which just wasn't the ending that we wanted.
Very.
So, what were the positives? Our relationship remained strong and positive. We took care of each other and we loved spending the time together. We've laughed a lot about everything that went wrong and how bad it was. We've learned that not every experience has to be good, and sometimes the bad ones are more memorable. It's helped us appreciate the life we lead and the nice places we get to visit and the hotels that we get to stay in. The people we did meet were so kind and lovely, and we shared such a camaraderie with them on the road. The views on the good days were absolutely breathtaking. Our bodies just kept going and impressed us with their resilience. Going to bed barely able to move and waking up the next day feeling fairly fresh was always a surprise. Our standards have been lowered, which will help us to be more flexible in the other adventures that we want to have while we try to figure out what life should look like.
You're nice, Duck.
When we finally got into Santiago, we loved the vibe of the city and we're pleased that we got to see it. We didn't get what we were expecting from the Camino, but we got other gifts that we'll put to use. And we've learned not to put such high expectations on things going forward. Will we ever go back and do it again in season? Never say never, but probably not. If you'd like to follow along with our journey to building our life intentionally, please like, comment and subscribe. Next stop, an off-grid smallholding in Tuscany. And we'd love to hear your experience of the Camino in the comments, whether it is good or bad.